Well, hello, everybody.
What's up, world?
I'm Kelly,
I'm Corey.
and today we showed up and we're pressing play, and neither of us have a single thing on our minds. So, I mean, there's always stuff. I know last week Corey mentioned something that's actually kind of been on my mind a little bit lately. It's the word should.
Should.
About shouldn't.
It's been on my mind today because I actually wrote it in a text.
Huh.
That I should. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
Yeah,
That's funny.
over the weekend I wasn't feeling very good. Like since Thursday, I've just been like allergy and kind of head coldy feeling, and so I spent the whole day in bed sleeping, and and then I think it was Saturday and Sunday. I did a lot of Netflixing, just like you know how it is when you find a series, and it's just like next, and next thing you know, 6 hours later, I've watched like a whole season of some show. And I tend to have that thing within me that the guilt and the like, I'm not using my time productively and I'm wasting time, and I should be doing something else. It's like there's something within me that always feels I should be doing something else. I should be somewhere else. I should be doing something other than what I am currently doing. And it sucks. It's like so frustrating to me. I have lived a lot of my life like that. Like always feeling like there's something else that I should be doing. Even if like what I'm doing is really great. There's just this internal voice within me that feels like there's something other than what I'm doing. It is really weird. And so I do my shoulder is loud, but I am getting better. Like I'm recognizing it more, and I was able over the weekend to just allow myself to sleep. I mean, I needed to sleep, and so it felt good to sleep. And then, watching shows on Netflix. I have not done that in a really long time.
I'm guilty.
But I haven't done it in a really long time. And I thought, it's sometimes good to just turn off the brain, and just kind of, I feel like I was numbing out. After I spent like a whole day watching Netflix, I mean, my mind kind of felt like mush. Like, well, I didn't do anything productive. But at the same time, it's okay, I'm not beating myself up about it. It's all good. I'm feeling better today. I went to Pilates and got me some good food, and it's just the consistency of doing more better things. I mean, if that was all my life was Netflix and just constantly, in that, then yeah. But it's not. I'm doing much better. I don't know. And I know there's a lot more I could say about should. I'm sure it'll come to me.
Yeah. I can binge the Chosen big time.
But that feels good.
It does.
It feels
feel
like
good.
different. It feels different when it's
And
Jesus.
I still get the should.
Yeah.
I mean, my should that I went with today. I have the example that someone with the testimony I have of Jesus Christ should always be. I should always be this example. In the past, I should have always, and it's like, what is that? Where does that come from? And it's just not what God wants us to be stuck in. This constant should. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I should have been. A lot of my should is about the past, but when I do find myself in the present and I'm here now, I don't get caught up in that should thing so much, like I said in one of our previous videos, don't should on me. And I said, well, that's kind of crude, but it's true. People tell you should have done this or you should have done that, and it's like, well, there's nothing I can do about it. there's nothing I can do about anything in the past. I can do things differently today. I can be a better example with the knowledge that I've been given and blessed with. Today, I can live without that constant should. And I do have the Netflix thing that gets in my mind that I need to be doing something else. But I've actually gotten a lot better at that. I find myself doing things that are constructive. And I feel myself progressing. And I'm right where I need to be today. Like, I should be this, I should be that.
There's so much judgment in it. There's so much like it's the critic that's in us that's constantly like trying to tell us that what we're doing isn't good enough.
Yeah, without a doubt. That critic is very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a place of peace. It's not a peaceful thought. It's just a place that yeah, like you said, that judgment, and that's not who I am. Today, I don't want to be in that place of, it's all about choices, I guess. It's all about being true to myself. Am I being true to myself? Because if I'm not being true to myself, should is going to happen. Yeah, it's that simple with that word. If I am not doing, if I'm not doing what I know I should, wow, there it is. If I'm not if I'm not being myself, if I'm not being true to myself, I'm going to put that word on myself. I'm going to judge myself. And is it a word that should never be used? Is it a word that, you know?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I definitely know whenever I'm doing what is helping me become better. I know when I'm doing something that is making my life more enriched and bringing me more health, bringing me peace. And if that word's in my vocabulary, it's probably because there's something that needs to change.
Mm-hmm. And we definitely should not. How do you say stuff without saying that word? But we definitely ought not.
There you go.
To tell other people what they should do.
Yeah,
that is definitely because none of us know what is good for another person.
That
regardless.
is a great point. Yeah.
Because we can should on people a lot,
yeah.
and that's not good.
Yeah,
I don't need you telling me what I should and shouldn't be doing because nobody knows what I should.
Yeah, and that word is definitely thrown around a lot. And who knows other than God telling me where I need to be, what I can be doing better, what I can be doing to make my life more peaceful. And that, I guess that word can be used for myself at times, but other people definitely don't need to throw that at me. You should have done this. You should be doing this. Who knows other than...
It's not helpful.
Yeah. Who knows? How can anybody tell me what I need to do if I have the Holy Ghost guiding me in my life and another person comes to me and tells me, well, you should be, somebody could give me advice and say, from my own experience, this is what has worked for me. And that is a lot better. That's the way that people within the 12-step program work. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to come up to me and say, well, what you should be doing. And if they do, well, then it's an immediate, you've lost me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You've lost my attention. But I can say, look, the way that I got where I got was I didn't immediately get hooked on hard drugs. It all started with little things. and my experience, I can share that with other people and say, look, it's the small things that really do matter. And I don't have to say, well, you should do this, you should do that. If a person is being true to themselves, then my advice, my experience that I can share with them is either going to, they'll either accept it or reject it, but a should on them, it's just that you lost me. If you come at me from that direction, I'm done with the conversation.
Yeah, it feels aggressive and like telling someone what they ought to be doing. Like, I know better than you what's good for you.
Yeah.
You know, no. Something you just said about progress and things taking time. That's something else that I've kind of been thinking about. I was just sitting in my rocker just thinking about this a few minutes ago. Just about the way that we live in a society now where everything is so fast. You know, we get fast food. When we get online on the internet, you know, if it's got like the little circle where we're having to wait a second, you know, it's like we get aggravated. You know, just everything is so now, like we want everything immediately. And so much of this process that we're going through, it takes so much time. It's not you know, I'm choosing to be totally different, so now like my whole life is different. That's just not the case. You know, Corey and I, we've both been on our separate journeys, and we came together at a point when we were both kind of at the same place. But it's taken both of us years to get to this point to where we're like kind of here together, working on the same exact things and wanting to continue to progress and move forward in the same way, on the same path, in the same direction. And so it's a day-to-day thing. It's not immediate. Every day, that's like with, you know, me watching Netflix for a couple days, and my life isn't spent that way. You know, my life is spent more in motivational things and uplifting things and things that really like expand my mind and teach me, and where I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm making choices day after day. And the days that I don't, you know, I'm learning to be more gentle with myself. I'm learning not to should myself. I'm learning all of these things as I'm living, as I'm practicing it, as I'm doing it. And I'm just recognizing like the patterns that I have lived throughout my life, and they're just falling away. Like this should person, this critical thing in my mind, I'm just learning to see it. I'm learning to recognize it, and I'm in this process of changing it. And it's like I said, it's not like an immediate thing. It's constant. It's constantly working on it and being aware.
Yeah, and doing this live, I mean, I do say things, like I said just a minute ago, that sometimes might be good for me, but it's not. It is very judgmental. And this steady progress forward, if I'm taking some time to myself, that it isn't necessarily a bad thing. And so if I'm telling myself I should be doing this, well, no, I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing. You know, it's learning to be at peace with myself at all times, as long as I'm being true to myself and not out doing the things that I know that are not good for me. Then yeah, I mean, Netflix has some good stuff on it. I mean, I can binge some stuff on there, and it's I get caught up in it for a day, and it's like then I don't for a while, and that's exactly what I needed.
Right.
And becoming aware of that and becoming okay with having time for myself, that's something that I've never done in the past. I've always sought No, that's my whole life has been about myself. So that was a wrong statement. But I still need self-time. I still need downtime. Time to just disconnect from everything. I think that it's healthy. And
Right. Doing it in healthy ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of my time isn't on Netflix. It's like you said, most of my time is with good motivational speakers and listening to people that I admire and that I look up to and that do bring a desire to be better, to progress. And that's as long as we're progressing. It is a long from where I've come from to where I'm at today. I want to be I am at peace. I'm at peace with where I'm at. And I know that it's not where I want to be. I'm not content with staying here, but I am content being here today. So, yeah, that being nice to ourselves. I think that's kind of where we started a few months ago, is being nice to ourselves and just being kind to myself and just being patient with myself and knowing that perfection is never going to happen in this life. Perfection is not achievable. But I can improve, I can make progress, and I can reach out to other people and spend half an hour and get together with Kelly, and I mean, this is very productive. You know, I've worked all day, I've been busy all day, and now I get to spend some time and just think about ways that I can be better. And that text was earlier today. I should, for somebody that has a testimony of the things that I have a testimony of the things that I believe in, I should no, that's not where I need to go. That's not, it's not the direction that my mind needs to be. My mind just, I want to be in peace and not be caught up in all that, what you should have done.
Yeah, it seems like, society, and we're just born into this world, and also just people, like just the culture, just how it's been. We've had so much pressure on us to be productive people in society, and that production, we've been told it looks a certain way. You're supposed to go to school, you're supposed to go to college, you're supposed to get a job, you're supposed to do this. It's like it's this framework that society has put upon people, and if we're not doing those things, and it's like, oh well, I'm not as good as other people, and I should be doing these things, and if I'm not, then I'm just not as good, and it's just not true. I mean, each one of us is born into this world as just such unique individuals, and we've been given all of these boxes that we've been placed into, and it's just, they're not true. It's just not true. Some people, school is wonderful for them. They love school. They thrive in it. They succeed. They love it. Other people, school is hell. It is torture. It is painful. They don't learn that way. It's miserable. And so why put someone into that box? That's just not the way that person thrives. It's like, but you put them into music, you put them into arts, you put them into other things that, and it's just, we all thrive differently, and it's learning, it's coming to know ourselves, being open to the Spirit, listening to the Spirit, having the Spirit guide us, because the Spirit knows us. The Spirit knows what is best for us and what can help us. And I've been really learning the things that I love I'm 48 years old, and I'm learning about myself, and I just love it. I'm trying new things. I'm like getting rid of just all this stuff that I've been told my whole life, that I'm learning that some of these things are just not true. And I've taken them as truths, but they're just not. We tend to believe everything that we're told, in school, and just, I don't know, I'm just coming to a place where I'm just letting go of a lot of things that are not.
Yeah. Not beneficial for you.
Right.
And it might work for somebody else.
Yeah, totally.
And that's great.
And that's why we can't judge people and tell other people what they ought to be doing or not ought to be doing, what they should or shouldn't be doing, because we just don't have a clue.
Yeah. It's funny, this morning I had a conversation with a customer of mine that one of her kids is just ADD and can't finish a test, and she said, I want to put my kid into a different type of school because this is just, it's not working. Like, he'll have a whole page on his test that's not complete, and it's like, well, you should be doing this, and that's just not the way to approach a kid, because school really is just torture for some people. I know it was for me when I was younger, but I actually embraced it when I got older and just fell in love with it. And I am so grateful for where I am today. I don't have that should thing going on in my head. I'm grateful to be aware of it, to be aware of when my mind is going into places that it shouldn't be going. When my mind is not being productive, and my mind is not telling me the truth. I'm learning to distinguish that, and it is the Spirit that's giving me that knowledge, and I love it. I love the peace in my life today. And I do have I have so far to go, but I'm right where I need to be today.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I love doing this because now that we're talking about should, it helps me to recognize it even more. As I move forward, I'll be able to recognize it and just get that out of my mind. Just change my whole way of thinking. Because it's been there my whole life. Just what anything I'm doing, even if it's something I enjoy doing, I always feel like I'm missing out on something else. I ought to be doing something else, and it's just like, but I'm really have been practicing. I've really been working on just being so present and being right now and enjoying what I'm doing. It does make such a big difference.
It's funny, I was just thinking on one of our previous recordings, I said everybody should do this.
Oh yeah.
It's so great. I love doing this. It's so therapeutic. And even if I've said that before, it's not about how many people can I reach. It's just about growing and progressing, and it's so healthy for me. And I hope that somebody grabs a hold of it and is able to learn with us. It's this is the way I know that this is the way that God has been able to work in my life and in your life. And it's
very much
it's created so much progress in just 3 or 4 months or however long we've been doing it, and I love it. I'm grateful, so grateful for where I'm at today.
Me too. And it's really awesome because neither of us really had a clue. We were both like, my mind is totally blank. I don't even know what we're going to talk about. But it's interesting the way things just always appear. Like we have volumes within us that we can talk about, but it's just kind of whatever happens.
It's funny, I was listening to a podcast earlier today, and the guy was talking about how he had an idea of something to talk about in his podcast, and he didn't do it. And he said, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow arrived, and he said that he tried recording it, and he tried recording it a few times, and it just didn't work because it wasn't for that day. Because tomorrow we will be a whole different person. Tomorrow I'm not going to be who I am today. It's all about progress, and push and play and recording. This is where we went with it.
Yeah, that's why sometimes it's hard whenever we say that we're going to have a topic and then we're thinking about a topic to share on here, because I'll have so many thoughts about that topic, and then I want to remember what I thought about so that I can say it on here. And so then it's me thinking it. It's not really the Spirit coming through me, like sharing it. So it's kind of more fun to just press play and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm glad you went down this road, because it's definitely something I'm grateful to think about today. I don't need to be in that should mentality. There's so many things I could should on myself all about. Should this, should that. But it's just not, it's not progressive. It's not healthy. It's not making me a better person. I am happy doing what I'm doing right now. And there's nowhere else that I need to be. But whenever I get there, I'm going to be happy when I get there. You know? So life is good.
It is. It really is.
I love y'all. And it's another beautiful day. I hope that life is treating all of y'all well, and that y'all are feeling the same peace that I'm feeling in my life. Mental health is just so beautiful. Mental health is just so great.
It is. And if there's anything that we can do to help you, you know, if you're struggling, just let us know. Message us. You know, send us a whatever, you know, messaging, however that works.
The direct messages.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
we'd
y'all.
to help.
I do. I'm happy to be a help to anybody.
All right.
Have a beautiful day.
Bye, y'all.